Hello, everybody. Today we are going to review The Punisher from 2004, starring Thomas Jane. Uh, oh, hold on. Just let me fix my lighting here. Sorry about that. That's better. Okay. This is, believe it or not, my favorite movie. My personal favorite movie of all time, actually. I don't know. This movie just kind of stuck with me over the years as my favorite. And so I always go back and watch it from time to time and enjoy it just as much as I did the very first time. Uh, Definitely kind of like a not an action-packed movie, but the storyline was just so well done. I find this. Now we all know the Punisher storyline. Obviously, his family is killed, and he goes and seeks revenge on the people that killed his family. In this case, it was Howard Saint. Uh, at the beginning, Frank Castle is an undercover cop trying to catch these guys in an arms deal situation, and during this, obviously it goes badly when the helicopter and the FBI show up, and Frank Castle is undercover as a Russian, and they have to make him look like he gets shot and killed in the process. Unfortunately, one of Howard Saint's sons dies in this gunfight that ends up taking place. Which wasn't supposed to happen. There weren't supposed to be any casualties on this job. It was just supposed to go smoothly, and everybody was supposed to get arrested. Unfortunately, that's not the way it went down. So Frank Castle is done with the police force. He's retiring now, so he can spend time with his family. And when he's on vacation with his family, Howard Saint and his wife send in all these men to kill his entire family, including him. They are unsuccessful, obviously, in killing Frank Castle, even though it doesn't look like he's going to be in too good of condition. The other guy from the docks ends up saving him, and they didn't really show the whole nursing back to health part, but he does bring him back to the beach where his family was killed, and Frank Castle takes all of his dad's guns and then begins his plot for not revenge or vengeance. I guess it was just more of an eye for an eye type deal in this movie. Anyway, the way he plans this out is perfect because he gets one of the guys who is working for Howard Saint to be his inside man, and the guy he gets to work for him, I believe his name was Jimmy, doesn't like the Saints anyway, so it works out perfectly for Frank Castle that he has this guy on the inside who basically kind of infiltrates them the same way Frank Castle is doing. So by the end of it, Howard kills his best friend and his wife because he thinks they were sleeping together due to the fact that things have been planted, and there's been evidence put forward that obviously these events would have taken place. Uh, Obviously, we know that Howard and or Howard's wife and his best friend weren't sleeping together because Howard's best friend, we find out in the movie, is gay. So obviously, they are just really good friends. Um, Another thing that Frank Castle does is break into, I don't know whether it was some sort of building that Howard Saint owned, and he just gives away a whole ton of money, Cuban money, or money that was going to the Cubans. Obviously, part of the cigar deals that he does, I suppose, and arms, I'm assuming, weapons. Uh, so yeah, obviously the Cubans are happy. They want to take their business elsewhere, and then eventually it comes down to Howard kind of saying like, "We're more powerful than you. Don't forget." in case you ever want to come after us, because now they've lost the money twice, because Frank Castle blows up the boat and also gives it away at Howard's building. So they're kind of running out of options, so they send in this big, huge Russian dude played by Kevin Nash to kill Frank Castle, and I think that was probably the closest he ever got to dying in this movie. Because Frank Castle, when he comes back, he moves into like this kind of like beaten up apartment building, and there's 3 people that live there. He has 3 neighbors, and they end up basically being his best friends by the end of it, because they protect him and help him in his journey to get what he wants done in their own way. Obviously, they don't help him in the killing part of things, but they do protect him, and they obviously he can't go to the hospital because of what he's doing. But they definitely see, they definitely have an interaction with him on the Russian, and then they have the interaction with Howard's men, including Howard's best friend, who rips out the earrings or all the facial piercings of the guy that lives next door to Frank. And yeah, that scene was brutal. And then Frank kills the guy that was waiting for him to come back, and then he goes after, obviously, Howard and everybody else, including his other son. So at the end of the movie, he shows Howard that he got him to kill his best friend and his wife because of what Frank did. So basically, he tore the family apart from the inside out, and he does end up killing the other son. And then the final death scene is he ties Howard to the back of a car, and I'm assuming puts a rock on the gas pedal or something, and it drags Howard across the street, and then all the cars start blowing up, and he dies basically by being lit on fire due to all the explosions. That would be quite a way to go. But yes, this movie is absolutely excellent. The storyline is perfect. The way that Frank gets his, I'm going to say revenge here, is like really diabolical. And he does it in a really good way. And at the end of the movie, he says, like, because he kind of does his own narration throughout the movie, Thomas Jane does, as the Punisher, because he keeps referring to himself as, not as Frank Castle, he keeps not referring to himself, but he keeps saying that Frank Castle had died with his family. And then at the end of the movie, he says it again, but this time he says that now you can call him the Punisher. So that was kind of leaving, I guess, a cliffhanger for a second movie. Unfortunately, that never happened, so this movie will be a standalone, but it is definitely my favorite movie. I don't think that'll ever change. It's always just been my favorite movie. Maybe just because I'm biased, and that's honestly my favorite Marvel character, because the Punisher isn't invincible. He can be hurt, and that kind of shows you that, because all the other superheroes are like gods or are pretty much invincible, except for maybe like Black Widow and Hawkeye. Those might be the only other 2 that I know of that aren't completely invincible. Seems like all the other ones don't have really any real weaknesses, except for obviously Wolverine, who just dies from antimantium poisoning in the end. But anyway, now I'm kind of rambling, so I believe that is all I have to say for this film. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Or yeah, like, share, and subscribe. Sorry. And comment down below your thoughts on this film if you've ever seen it. I think I've covered pretty much everything. Other than the story does take quite some time. Oh, I haven't even rated the film yet. The story does take quite some time to pick up. I didn't realize that. It's like 30 or 40 minutes into the movie before he actually comes back to the beach, I believe. So yeah, the story doesn't really pick up at first, but it's still my all-time favorite movie. And obviously, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 rating, because that's just how good it is. And yes, okay, now that's all I have to say. So I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye for now.